you know when challenges come your way, you feel, what am I not doing right? You've seen other people are doing fine, but one thing you need to put at the back of your mind, remember, is that everybody has a challenge he or she is going through. You might think that somebody is well off, but just go have a conversation with that person.
And you
realize actually you're way better.
Welcome to the Jadiel podcast. My name is Jadiel. I trust you're keeping safe, sanitizing, social distancing, and putting on a mask. COVID is real. The third wave imetandika watu mbaya. But we're not going to talk about COVID. We're going to talk about my friend. This guy, we were with him last week. He got arrested because he didn't have his mask on. A little bit of some COVID-related arrests. But then, msa akaanza kuita makarao mafala. Msa akatoroka makarao. And he had his handcuffs on. True story, bro. True story. I'm telling you, true story. Mset Konae town in the middle of the CBD. And he's running away from the cops with his handcuffs on. His phone was in his hand. His handcuffs there. Ikitu inamfinya na kishika anasema mafala. So everybody's calling me. Ja, umse ako wapi? Umse, where is he? And I'm thinking, why would he even do that? He's never shown such a character in his life. And then I talked to him a day after. He's still laughing about it. But it seems like there's some deep psychological stuff in there. We can't laugh about it, but it's a deep thing. Pressures. That's it. Pressures. Alikuwa na a lot of pressure. Pressure from work. Pressure from the girl she's dating. I don't know. Maybe. Pressure from family, maybe, I don't know. And I'm like, why do people have this much pressure, especially as we are growing up? Is it because growing up is difficult for us? We didn't expect some of the things that we got. I don't know what brought his pressures, but one thing I can tell you is that the pressures were real. And one thing I do know is that the pressures were because he is growing up. And maybe the circumstances he's facing are too difficult for him. My friend today, Jed, is back. We're going to talk about growing up pressures. Let's just think about it. Why are they there? What are the challenges that come with growing up? And what should we do about them? How can we help our friend? No, next time asishikwe hivo. It was so embarrassing. And I was so scared for his life. Jed, let's talk about growing up. Well, Jed, karibu sana to the Jadiel podcast.
Thank you so much.
You are back.
I'm back.
Last time we said we were Jed and Jed, the crew.
Yeah, now it's Jed and the Sons.
It's weird, bro. Now, when it comes to growing up, it gets to a point where you realize that you will not be under the feathers of your parents. You will not be there, and the world will be looking at you strictly as an individual. And everything you take, every decision you make, what watakujudge as an individual. Why do you think growing up is so difficult, man?
Growing up is difficult. I think just knowing that you are on your own, especially let's say the example of just moving out of your parents' place, and because the more you grow, the more the responsibilities are charged your way. The more to whom much is given, much is expected. So there's so many expectations that you need to meet, and now it's up to you to also to be able to be strong mentally, to know you won't be able to meet all those expectations, and also you have your own expectations, because for a man, especially for a man, you're expected, you're the one who's going to be providing for your family, and by now, like where we are working towards that. But the problem is that we give ourselves timelines, but that by time nafaa kuwa na gari, by time nafaa kuwa na nyumba, nafaa kuwa na job stable, immediately nikimaliza kampo nafaa kuwa na job. But you know, everybody, the path is different. There's a way life happens, and it's a journey, so you don't know. Journey ya kwenda Mombasa, it's not the same as the journey going to Mandera.
Ama Maragua.
Au Maragua. Kuna zingine ni rough like going to Mandera. Kuna zingine ni smooth kama hii expressway kieko, itakuwa smooth, fast. But sasa we need to appreciate that it's a journey and we need to be patient.
There are people born with a silver spoon, people that don't go through the challenges that some of us go through. And when we look at them, we're like, singekuwa tu na life kaya umse. Singekuwa tu na life kaya umse. I think it would make my life easier. Do you think there's a way we disconnect from our own lives and try to live other people's lives or envy their lives that gives us the pressure that hatufai kuwa nayo?
Yeah, that's where we go wrong. Trying to compare ourselves with others. And I think it's a problem we all go through with. Even me personally, sometimes I feel like, wait, umse kwani amefanya? Okay, we are the same level, same age, but umse akona hii kitu. Mbona mimi akufaa? But at the end of it all, tulia, relax.
You know, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about some of the people that I know personally, and some of the challenges that they go through, and they don't speak about them. And you realize most of these challenges are because of the pressure that is there, and the pressure that they have to perform somehow. And most of them don't give themselves a timeline or think, hey, I still have a life to live. I can be able to achieve this and this and this at specific times if I take things slowly. But before we talk about that, let me just ask you, are there challenges that you have gone through personally? Zimefanya useme, life jo tricky sana.
Yeah, as I was saying, I was just giving an example of me, just having the pressure of and starting to compare yourself with others. And you know, when challenges come your way, you feel, what am I not doing right? You've seen other people are doing fine, but one thing you need to put at the back of your mind, remember, is that everybody has a challenge he or she is going through. You might think that somebody is well off, but just go have a conversation with that person.
And you realize,
actually you're way better. Unaweza ona msi akona gari, you don't know how alipata hiyo gari aje.
There's someone who said, before someone said, you can have a car, you can have a bed, you can be able to buy a bed, but you can never buy sleep.
Yeah.
You can be able to buy insurance, but you can never buy health.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think about growing up as something that has to do with financial stability and career-wise stability, but we forget about the emotional and psychological thing.
Yeah, just your well-being.
Yeah.
Just your well-being. Kuna mtu, you know, I think where maybe I'm dwelling so much on the material side, it's because where we are, our generation, we are looking at, we all want material things, but there are more things, the intangible things, your mental wellness, your health, your spirituality, as in, all these things are very important to your life, but we focus more on the material. Because if you're able to be well in those areas, imagine this vitu vidogo kaa sijui una pesa.
Hizi vitu ndogo.
As in, there are times, not very few times, sina pesa, but I'm happy. Money is not my source of joy.
I'm emphasizing sana very few times. Most of the times I have money.
No, but material things shouldn't be your source of joy. As in, just being content should just give you happiness.
When we speak about mental well-being and contentment, do you think people somehow lack the contentment that they deserve or they need or they should have because of lack of support? Because if I look at most of the people that I feel are pressured, including myself some of the times, it's because I sometimes disconnect from the support that I need and the support that I have, and I'm like, oh, I just need a pat on the back. Someone to say, you go through this, it will be okay. Or some people not to just pressure me as they do. Do you think kuna support that is necessary that we don't have?
Yeah, especially when we are growing, as we are growing, especially our age, it's important to have people who can support you and support not materially. people who you can go and talk to, because growing up comes with many challenges. Growing up is like teething. Like it's a painful process, but at the end of it all, when mino zote zimegrow, you can chew. You can chew meat, au utaacha kukunywa maziwa.
Because when you're teething, you're like, I don't want these things. They're so painful.
So you need people who can, like, you need people you can always go to, like maybe a therapist, maybe a senior person, maybe your parent, maybe your uncle, maybe even a life coach, because you need that kind of support, because so that whenever you're facing challenges, you don't feel like the world is against you, like everything is against you.
You. You're speaking about support, and then I'm like, how far is too far when it comes to support? Especially when it comes to parents. How do you know that you're dependent too much on people that you shouldn't be, and you should actually now step out of that luxury that you have? How do you know that I rely on my parents a lot? Is it even okay to rely on them?
Yeah, there's nothing bad with relying on your parents, but as you're growing, I think I'll keep emphasizing. It's good you learn how to be dependent on your own. Like, know how this is done. Like, you know how to raise money for rent, how to be able to live on your own, because that's when you realize what kind of a person you are.
You know, we were speaking with someone over, was it the day before yesterday, and we were talking about parenting somehow, and we were thinking, man, maybe parents should also teach their kids to be independent at a particular time in their lives, or even as they're growing up. You teach these children, you teach people like me, that when I was growing up, that there will come a time that I will not be there.
Yeah.
And when I'm not there, you need to know that even without my presence, you can still be able to stand, and not just stand, but stand straight.
The best thing is to know that you can always go. There's somewhere you can always run to whenever you have challenges.
Yeah.
And you can always ask God for help.
You know, I'm just thinking of winding up this conversation, because time inatupa kisogo, and I'm thinking about the way we can overcome these challenges. And you're just speaking about God. We've just spoken about finding mentorship and relying on people somehow. Is there something else you feel like it's important for people to know, even as we're winding up, that about growing up and the difficulty, these challenges and the struggles that come with it?
It's growing is painful, is uncomfortable, but you need to just appreciate that it's a process in life, and we all need to grow. It's growth is like change. It's inevitable. It's metamorphosis.
It's going to happen, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. And the problem is,
get into the bus early.
And the problem is,
yeah,
you know, I don't know if it's Stephen Furtick. He was preaching, and they were saying,
Pastor Stephen Furtick, Pasi.
Pasi. He was saying, when you get stuck, you get stupid.
Wait, what? What does that mean?
When you get stuck, you get stupid. When you're stuck in a situation and you don't want to grow, you just want to be in a certain position. There's a way you unakanga to.
So we need to be ready to move on.
We need to be ready to move on.
And that's your parting shot.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks for coming through, bro.
Yeah.
And I think what's important for people to know, and I learned this quote like some years back, is that don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Well, that was Jed. Jed, thanks for coming through. Really do appreciate you. The guys that come here, and you guys, the guys that comment, really do appreciate you, because you guys make my day every single day. Now, as we wind up, thinking about the guy I told you earlier, the guy that was arrested, ran away. Remember that story? Yeah. You know, if this conversation is a conversation that you probably have to share, please do, because there are people out here that might be suffering, that might do something crazy because they think that growing up will be difficult for them. Just understand this, from my point of view, that everyone will go through this stage. And we don't know what will happen later, but it will happen. But one thing we are certain of is that we will come out alive, just like our parents and the parents before them. We will still overcome. Jed said, growing up is like teething. You know, remember when you were teething? I don't remember when I was. But how important are your teeth? And it was painful back then, but at least now you can be able to eat that nyama choma, some popcorn and some mahindi choma. Until we meet again, my name is Jadiel. I hope you subscribe. And remember, growing up is something that will happen, something that is happening, and thank God that you are alive. Thank God that you're growing up. Someone somewhere did not grow up. Until we meet again, hasta la vista. I hope you subscribe, share, comment, and everything else that comes with YouTube. And I hope you share this conversation. Until we meet again, goodbye.